Hello, everybody. Can I ask that all the people who were fasting make their way to the front? And we're going to do our fast breaking ceremony now. And what we usually do is we ask all the fasters to sit, if you feel to sit on the floor. There are chairs here for those who cannot sit on the floor or is too uncomfortable. That's perfectly fine. Don't worry about that. If you want to sit on a chair, you can. We generally ask to sit on the floor as just part of the ceremony, though. And what we like to do is ask if we can be in rows. So all the fasters who want to, we try and get one row and then another row in front of them. And so we get the rows very organized. Yeah. Yeah. Here, we'll just pull them back. What we're going to do is pull back these chairs so there gives a little bit more room up front. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And so we recommend, if you can do it, sitting in a nice straight line, shoulder to shoulder with your buddy. Usually it's 2 lines. Awesome. Awesome. Perfect. Yes, that's awesome. Awesome. And what we're going to do today is just do a very simple fast breaking ceremony, and we've done this each year that we've done the fast, and it's just an opportunity for you who are the fasters to reflect a bit on your day and be intentional as you transition out of this little fast that you've done, this little sunrise to sunset fast. How we started the fast today was when the sun touched on Turtle Island on the East Coast is when the fast started. And then right now, as we're speaking, the sun is setting on the east coast of Turtle Island over on PEI. So we decided to break our fast like that instead of the sun leaving Turtle Island this way to make the day a little bit more easy for folks and to facilitate the day. And really, it's the intention that you've held during the day and this moment of reflection. So in a couple of minutes, we're going to do that fast breaking. It's a very simple process. But before we do that, I'm going to ask our loved one, Dr. Lee Brown, to come up and just share a few words about the fasting itself. And then we'll move on from there.
Well, they say it's bad to be the speaker before dinner. And this is like the worst case scenario. What I mostly want to say is thank you for fasting. No, thank you for fasting. Thank you for fasting. And the other thing I want to say is take time when you take your first swallow of water to feel the healing power of the water, the healing energy. Water is our first medicine. Take time to feel that and then enjoy the berries. And know that everyone appreciates what you've done. And we really, going back to the words of Chief Bobby Joseph this morning, the shift, everyone in this room is part of the shift that is happening. And you are a major part of it because you have fasted and put your personal energy, the house of your own spirit, cleaning, part of the cleaning and purification of all humanity. One day, one step, it's a big thing. It's a big thing. We're in a time of the purification of all things. And that's us. Cedar trees don't need to be purified. Human beings do. So thank you for fasting all my relations.
Thanks, and we're going to ask that the helpers hand out the water and the berries, and We're going to recommend you please don't have any water or berries for a minute as they come out until everybody has some water and berries. And once all the water and berries are out, we'll just walk you through the next steps on that. There are elders and medicine people across this whole Turtle Island that know that you have been fasting today. And they want to send their gratitude and their love for each and every one of you fasted today. And to note that we're doing this little ceremony here, and there are little ceremonies of fast breaking happening all across Turtle Island. So you're connected with them in that way. This water and these berries are being shared across Turtle Island right now, across North America, with people who have decided, like you, that they are called to fast for their personal reasons. But we do these deeply personal things collectively together, specifically because that's how we learn about who we are, and specifically because that's how we learn about and struggle through life. We go individually through, but we do it together. And that tension and that paradox, if you will, that tension between being incredibly alone on one level and always connected on another level, and never possibly alone on another level. And that's part of the fasting ceremony, is to remind us of that we hold that tension as human beings. The gifts that you're holding, the water and the berries, are for you to hold in whatever way makes sense to you. And for a lot of different nations and peoples all over the planet, water is a first element of life, and that'll be how we'll do that today. So when it's time, and everybody has a little bit of water and berries, and we'll all take our first sip together. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yes, please. So we'll all do that together. Everybody who's fasted will take our first sip of water together, and then we'll take our first berries together. And before we take that first sip of water, always we say this, that today what you've done on behalf of those you love and care about, those unseen, those next 7 generations like that the gift that you're giving yourself and the gift that you're giving those next generations and women and girls of today is not something that can be bought, and it is not something that can be sold. But it is something that you have to pay for. You have to pay for it. And the way you pay for that is through taking that little bit of moment of depth in your own sacrifice, a little bit of sacrifice, a little bit of personal commitment. That's the payment we're willing to make for all those we love. And so that's why we do these ceremonies. They're for us, and they're for our loved ones and for those next generations. And so just think, as you take your first sip of water, of whoever it is in your heart and your mind, your body, that you want to focus on. Could be one person, many people that you love, and you want to take in this water, not for yourself this time. You're taking this first drink for them. Then you take your second drink for yourself, but your first drink is for them. And then before that, we always say a little bit of a prayer over the water, however you want to do that. And that's the first offer is up to the Creator, or however you see that. And then once you've done that, then you take your first sip for the people you love, and then the second sip for yourself. So let's drink our water together. All my wishes. And then then when you've done that, we have berries. And so there are lots of different reasons why we have the berries, but we'll just keep it simple because I know dinner's getting cooked, and you're all looking at me like, hurry up and get this over. So happy to do that. Yeah, just with the berries, just that first signs of spring, that first treatment that comes out of the first plants that come out and give food in the spring, often are the berries. And so from these berries are what all beings eat, from the bears to the two-legged, four-legged, winged ones, creeping crawlers, even the rooted ones, the plants, they all live off of these berries. And so we're going to go to these berries and just have these berries, and please enjoy the berries. And then once that's done, and you have your berries, you can turn to a person on the left or the right if you feel called to. Share any words that you want to share. If you want a handshake or a hug, that's great too. Do whatever it is that you're called in your heart to do. If you're shy, turn to somebody and be shy. That's cool. Or just turn to them and say, hey, don't be shy, however you want to be. But just share a little bit of this time together. And then once we finish the berries, then that's it. That part of the ceremony is over. And then we're going to ask Yakoilaptin to come up and just help us with inviting the witnesses up to say what they've witnessed today, and then we'll have our feast. So go ahead and have your berries. And for everybody on the live stream, just to thank you very, very much, and do the same as you can where it makes sense for you to follow this little process. Just really acknowledging all those people who are not with us physically, but are with us spiritually, and an intention of doing the good work that the campaign has hoped to see happen, which is working together to create safety for each and every one of our loved ones, all the women and children, and those along the gender continuum. Yeah. Ready to rock and roll? Okay. I'd like to now ask Yakoilaptin to come forward and help us out with the next piece of work. Yeah.
Hi, it's Kasiyam. Just like to thank my brother David and Dr. Lee Brown for guiding us through the fast ceremony, and to our relatives and dear friends that fasted, to thank you for that gesture and that sacrifice that you made to honor women, children that have experienced violence, but also in that same gesture creating medicine so that our next generations don't have to experience that as well. So just raise my hands to each of you. I know over the years I've had the opportunity to fast as well, and this year I cheated and had water. And so I didn't feel that I had a place to host with you. Thanks to all you hardcore folks that are still here, and to our virtual family that are sharing this space with us as well. And we had called upon witnesses for the work that we're doing. The family had called upon these witnesses in the work, and how they hope to acknowledge and embrace the local community and our protocols. And what a beautiful way to not only begin the work of the day, but also to conclude so that we can share a meal together. And I'd like to ask the family that's here to come stand with me, please, as our witnesses will be addressing the family and the work that's been done. Hait Kasiyam. So maybe we'll go back here where there is some space for all of us to be in. So just on behalf of the family, again, just to acknowledge the work that they've done today, the commitment it requires to bring us into ceremony and to embrace this as our Lekwungen teaching as well. And as shared earlier, the commitment of the witness is to observe and to experience the work that has been done by the family throughout the day, and then opportunity at the end to speak that in. And so we find ourselves now in full circle of this beautiful work. And we'll be calling upon our witnesses to share a few words, and then we'll share a meal together as well. So as we do so, I'd like to invite Julie Lush to share a few words with the family in the witnessing. Haitzkasiem.
Ble, Jalasi, Ndaloisi Julie. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Julie Pellisier Lush. I am so honored and humbled to have shared this day with everyone here. And as I was going through my day, I knew that I had to write something. I just wanted to start by saying, thank you so much to the Moose Hide Campaign family, to Raven, Paul, David, Sage, Willie, and Maddie, to the organizers, the support workers, the fasters, the people who have transported me from Prince Edward Island all the way to you. And I just wanted to say that I feel so united in my heart, my mind, and my spirit with all of my Indigenous brothers and sisters across Canada and beyond. I wrote a few things and I'll try to be quick because I know everybody's hungry, but you've asked a storyteller to define an amazing, amazing day. So I'm going to try to cut it down as best I can. I thank the Creator for giving me my eyes today, giving me the ability to see the great things that have happened, seeing the sunrise ceremony, the speakers, the workshops, the walk, everything that has been such a joy and a blessing. I thank the Creator for giving me my ears, so I have the ability to hear the powerful words and the messages that were shared today. I thank the Creator for giving me my mind, so I have the ability to understand how important this day really is. And I thank the Creator for giving me my heart, so I have the ability to feel the power, feel the words, feel the emotions that were shared today. And I thank the Creator for giving me my spirit, connecting me with my ancestors who stand by me and guide me in all of the decisions that I get to make. Thank you, Creator, for all of these gifts that you have given me. And thank you for everything that you will give to me in the future as well. And to end off really quick, I had written a song a couple of years ago, and I'm only going to do just a tiny, tiny bit of it, but I think it's important for today. And it goes like this. Yo-ay-yo, 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 yo-ay-yo. Think of us now and then, and pray this tragedy will end. I say a prayer every day for those lives cut short and gone away, for their families and their friends. Give them hope that someday this will end. Yo-ay-yo, 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 yo-ay-yo. Think of us now and then, and pray this tragedy will end. Now, to me, after being a witness of this day, this campaign, this whole day, this whole movement, the heart and the energy that I felt today is a step in helping to end this tragedy. I raise my hands to all of you. Walalan, Walalio, thank you.
Haichkasiem Siea, Julia, would just like to thank you for what you experienced and what you called into the space, and the work on behalf of the family. We raise our hands to you for sharing your teachings and what you experienced today. Haichkasiem. Just ask Diane Rawson to come forward to share a few words as a witness. Haichkasiem. Diane Rusin, pardon me.
Hanin, Buzu, and hello. As you heard, my English name is Diane, and my other name is Nigiguns, which means little otter, or Nigiguns little otter woman. And I am Anishinaabe, and I come from Namgis First Nations, which is in Treaty 2 territory in Manitoba. But I do live, work, and play in the Treaty 1 area, otherwise known as Winnipeg. So I'm very, very honored to be here today, and that I am here as a daughter and a sister and a niece and a granddaughter. Very proud mom of my two daughters, Sol and Rio. And it's sort of with all of their love and good intentions that I come to your land today. And I'm very grateful. And so I do say Kachi Miigwech, which means a very big thank you to the Kwingan people and the Place to Smoke Herring people. I just learned that one today, or last night. And the Songhees and the Esquimalt people, that they've been caretaking this land for millennia. And so we have to be grateful for that, and that they continue to do that for us, and for hosting us. It's just been a very beautiful time here, and we had an amazing ceremony last night, and today's been just amazing. And so for allowing us to gather on these lands, Miigwech. I do want to say thank you to Sage, who has asked me to be here today, and so she's one of the main reasons that I've come, because she made that request, and I was very honored and very quick to say yes to that. So thank you. And to the Lissert family, I've known some of you for quite some time, and have always had such respect and for this movement that you've started and are carrying. And I want to say lots to the Mooside family. I didn't quite realize there were so many of you, so miigwech to you too. I was asked to share a little bit about what I observed, and I was thinking maybe I was getting too hung up on that word, and I was like, I observed some things, but it's not really that. It's what I've experienced and what I have felt and what I've received, such good medicine. And that... And when we think about moving forward, it's all of that. It's all that good medicine. Oh, and I added I should also thank all of you, the fasters, and that Nibi, we say in Anishinaabe, Nibi is life, water is life, and we have lots of berry teachings, and so the berries are very important symbols and teachers in our life. And I'm wearing all these pins, and some of them represent some of the awful things that are happening to our people, but some of these pins also represent the good medicine and the way forward. And so that's, I feel like, what I have experienced and felt here in my time in these last day or two. I've felt and experienced the ceremonies, the teachings, the language, the songs, the tears, Brandy, whew. The protocols, the calling in of our ancestors, and just knowing that our ancestors are with us right now and they will continue to walk with us. The host families that were so generous and so kind, so loving, that are so kind, generous, and loving. And that all of this is creating these sacred bonds between us, and it's those bonds that really enact that responsibility to one another, that safety with one another, that reciprocity, and that just knowing of abundance and love. And again, I just, Brandy, your story, it just hits, right? And just had me angry, and it had me hurt, and it had me crying and sad, and all of that, which, and unfortunately your story is not unique. I do work in the field of child welfare, and it's awful that our families continue to experience that to this day, and will experience it tomorrow. And so we have a lot of work to do. But for all of those that have endured and continue to endure those atrocities, that we are looking to that call to action that Brandy asked us to think about this morning, and Chief Joseph with his words of hope and change, and also, I don't know if Talon's here, but the way he spoke about his mom, like, oh my goodness, like, don't we all want to be that mom? But there is so much out there that's really trying to keep us in survival mode, and we often talk about how we need to move from the survive to thrive. And so everything I've experienced here is all about the thrive. And so we just need to do more of that, like just more and more and more. And unfortunately, in the world that I've live in, our families are asking for, they're crying out for, they're thirsting for their culture. And they just want to practice their way of life, and they just want to be families. And it's really crazy to think about how many things get in the way of that. And so it's taking down those barriers and creating space for us to be families. And so I've been watching the babies, and that little guy's walking around going, I'm hungry. And I'm like, I know, okay, we got to hurry up here. The kids are always the cue for me. It's like, okay, whatever the babies are saying, that's what we got to do. But I've been watching these babies, and there's a whole village around these babies. And I've been watching Sage and Raven, and there's a whole village around you. And I've been even watching this Moosehide campaign, and today the walk, there's a whole village around the Moosehide family. And that's what we need more of. That's the medicine. That's the good medicine. That's the way forward. So I just wanted to end with that. Just the appreciation of being called into this circle, and that it really, for me, boils down to, and you had a few berries there, but strawberry teachings for me are super important, and they are, for us in Anishinaabe, we call them, it's the love teachings, and it's the Zagadewin, and so that's what the strawberry teachings are. And so I love that we ended with berries today, and I know we're going to go eat some more, but yeah, so it's the heart work, it's the heart medicine, and that's what I have been feeling today. And I know I'm going to take that away with me, and I was, the idea of where do I go with this, and so taking that back home and trying to spread that as much as I can in the areas that I walk in. So with that, I say, Kaji Miigwech.
Hi, it's Gasiem Siea, Diane. Just like to thank you for that reminder around where our work is at times as well, and the importance of that as we reflect on the strength of today. And may it be the medicine we require to move our communities forward as well. And so, Heitska. So at this time, I'd like to invite Wilbert Papik as a witness to share a few words. Heitska Siem.
Hello. You heard my name, Wilbert Papik here. It was an honor to witness this event, and I've witnessed a lot of things happen today, and all for the good. And the family that started it all, and I think this thing is growing right across Canada from what I hear from people talking. And this is the first year I really took part in this. I've heard of it before, but I've just taken the moose pins, but not be involved and be a witness. It's an honor. I first came out to Victoria in 1982, and I've been working at Lekwungen Territory for this time, and I'm glad. I thank the Lekwungen people for putting me up, and I really enjoyed the feast of the night. And, you know, met a lot of people, and you know, when you meet a lot of them, you don't. I can't even remember names yet. Some of them I do, but the march was terrific. It was, you know, I think it was well televised, and you know, a couple of workshops I went to. You know, if we all could talk to each other and learn to talk to each other, you know, we would be all, you know, happy, kind of happy in a way. And yes, and thank you very much.
Just like to thank Wilbert for his words to the family and to us as a community, and that I think what resonates for me is, you know, how do we ask the right questions? Are there right questions? I think maybe the point is we just ask questions and how we move forward as community and start those conversations. And so, Heitzka Wilbert for those words. And our last witness for the evening, I'd like to call forward Shelley Joseph to say a few words to the family. Heitzkasiam.
Gela Kasla Silako Lekwungen. Greetings to our Lekwungen people who belong to this land. Thank you for having us, providing a safe space for us to gather to do this important work. Today and yesterday, I witnessed a family whose love and hope is so big, and that showed with all of you showing up, with all of you committing to fasting all day long, and everybody across Canada. Your love did that. Your vision, your hope. And I witnessed 4 generations. You don't see that often. A whole family healing, learning, growing, and turning around and affording that grace and that love to everybody else. Thank you all for that, for having that vision, and for all the sacrifices I know you make coming into a big event. I know that sacrifice, especially when it's so personal. I witnessed people committing to being a safe person. I witnessed spirit and ancestors coming in, and they're here in and around us now because we called them here. And I witnessed everybody connecting. That's what's been missing. That's why violence was able to thrive for as long as it did in our communities, because we were disconnected. And the healing is going to come the more we connect, the more we're intentional with our connection to one another. We need to step into our courage to be able to be vulnerable with one another, and that's where the connection is coming from. So I hold my hands up to all of you for your courage to be vulnerable, to show up today, to give everything that you have in your being. I witnessed the people who fasted. That great sacrifice. That was a sacrifice. And that's no small feat to deprive your body of what it needs. In my own teachings, we fast to deprive our bodies so that we can welcome more energy in for our spirit and for our mind. To take away from the physical, to be present more spiritually. Thank all of you for your courage in stepping into that. To the family, again, I just want to say, I admire that you work together, that you grow together, that you love together, and that you do it with all your little ones. In my own culture, I hear over and over again, but if not for our children, what would our purpose be? And you live that. And that's so grand. And for you to turn around and want that for everybody and to give that to everybody and invite us into your family. That's huge. From my family to your family, we love you. We're so grateful for the work that you do. We're so grateful that you're able to wrap us in your love. And we want to continue to have this reciprocal sharing of love over and over again for many years to come when all of our children grow up and they do the work. Yeah, I love you. I love you. Gela Kesla.
Gela Kasla, Haitzkasiem, and Kleko, the language of my ancestors. Shelley acknowledged that our ancestors are here with us, and likely not just our indigenous ancestors, but our family that's here with us. Your ancestors are likely here too. And to acknowledge that intergenerational connection that you walk with as a family is so powerful and beautiful. And may that be medicine in how we move forward as community and continue to move forward. To all our witnesses, I just raise my hands to each of you for taking on that role and responsibility to affirm and reaffirm what's been experienced within this space. And it's not to negate the beautiful stories that each of you will walk away with today as well, but also to recognize and to acknowledge that in your own way you will have opportunity to share in with others what you experienced. That we have opportunity to let others know what that little pin is about. And one of my curiosities for today, and it was actually a bit entertaining as well, was I was going back and forth from the ledge to the space here, and a number of people, I almost got mugged a couple of times. and people, more curious about what the tela or the money was about on the blanket here. And so if there's any more curiosity around it, it's the family acknowledging that they've hired me as their speaker for the day. And that we do so folks know who, to connect with if, we had to huihuios, or if we had to be alert and adjust to cultural change that would happen, that we would be able to respond in a way that was culturally mindful, not only for where our family comes from, but the protocols of this territory as well. And so the headband, of course, connects my mind to my heart and how I speak for our community. And the blanket goes over the heart to make sure that the family's making sure that my heart is looked after in the work as well. Today's been so beautiful, and each of you have contributed to that beauty and to our virtual family as well. So So I just raise my hands to the family for following the protocols. I know folks, and especially our family that have been fasting, your tummies are probably growling. If I held the mic up over here, you could probably hear. And so with that, we're going to close this portion, but perhaps either through the course of dinner or at the end, we'll have the family share a few words as well too. So, Haitzkasiem. So thank you.
Threw me a curveball there. Thank you so much, and thank you to the family. They were going to share their remarks now, but they'll do it during dinner. And I'm just going to do some closing remarks on behalf of being able to be in the space today. I'll be quick. So thank you so much to the family for inviting me to guide space today for this morning and to close this afternoon, and to be a witness here as well. I wanted to share a couple things that I've been taught when you were drinking your water. One of the teachings that I have been given from a very young girl was the teaching of water. So when we say water in English, we think of water. But when we say water in Cree, we say nipi, which means I am unfolding. So when you talk about water, and every time you drink water, it's teaching you to unfold as you are. Just as you are. You know how Bruce Lee says, be like water? He's exactly saying flow. Be in the flow of everything that you are, as you are right now. So what you did was you unfolded. And we got to witness that. And then the other thing is kasagitin. I talked about that this morning, about love. What you did is you showed all of us, as women and children, that you love us. And that's one of the things we're afraid of in this life, is to love each other and to say that we do. And kasagitin means my energy is at a place where it meets you. So as a survivor that almost took my life, you met me today. And you showed me all of the love that is in this room for me and for everyone who has experienced that. The women and the children. And you showed the family how much you love them. So when you do the love eyes, that's what it's about. It's about saying, I'm going to meet you there. You're at 20%, I'll meet you 80%. And you met me today, and I'm so grateful. You are bringing balance back to our people, because we've been thrown off of balance with violence. And what we're doing in this space is we're going to hit the mark. That's called Tawaham. We're going to hit the mark. And you did that today. So when we walk out of here, people are going to notice you and your energy. What is it about you? What is it about you today? What did you do today that you're glowing? And you're going to say, I came to balance by sacrificing a part of myself to help and to show how much love I have for the ones who suffered from violence and are suffering from violence. You did that today. You did the greatest thing possible. And you gave the greatest gift today. And I'm so grateful to witness this and be a part of this. And thank the Lacerte family for doing this. This is important work. And as a young person, it's so important to be in this. It's so important to be in this and to be uncomfortable, because you chose to be uncomfortable today so that I can be comfortable. So thank you so much. On behalf of me and my family, who are healing our intergenerational traumas, I'm so grateful to every single one of you, and kasagitin to all of you for doing what you're doing today. So I just wanted to share those few words from me. I don't know if I'll see you again. I hope I do, because next time we'll do a jig. I'm promoting this jigging thing. So before we close today, again, let's take a look at the Lacerte family. and how much beauty and healing that is happening within their family right now, and the growth and how much light that they're going to be shining after this day today. Thank you so much. So before we close, we'd like to share a video that the team at Media One put together for us to recap all we have lived together throughout the day. So let's keep this momentum going so that the future generations will thrive until our paths cross again, which they will. We're all family, we're all friends. Cue the video. Hit it. Just kidding. How about that? How was that? That made me feel so emotional. So before we do dinner, we're going to follow protocol as we usually do, and we're going to have a dinner prayer to bless the food and thank the ones who made the meal tonight. What was her name? Jean. And we're inviting Jean to do the prayer.
Thank you, everybody, for being here today. It's been quite an honor to share this time with everybody. And so now I'd like to do a prayer for the dinner. I call on our Creator to bless the food, the hands that prepared it, to bless everybody here today, keep everybody safe, and spread the love as you walk away here today. Thank you. Gaila Kasla, all my relations.
Thank you so much. So we're running ahead of time. They couldn't cook fast enough now. So what I'm going to get you to do is turn to your new friends, your relatives, introduce yourself. Introduce yourself to a new friend. The fasters in the front, talk amongst each other. Give each other a hug. Say hello. My new brothers and sisters and relatives. At the tables, come and meet the fasters. Come and say hello and celebrate them and thank them for the sacrifices they've done today. Meet some new friends, some new family. I know you're so hungry. You had some berries. Some of the family is coming through and they're just thanking the fasters. We're almost ready, almost ready. If you see someone standing by themselves up here, go say hi. Okay, we're gonna call up the elders to start making their way outside these doors. And if you see an elder that needs some food, ask them if they need to be fed. So elders, or if you consider yourself an elder, some of you might think you're elders already. Start making your way, and then we'll get those fasters in that line. So elders, yep.